I think this shit has drawn out too long. I'm tired of it. Fans are tired of it. And honestly, here's what I've noticed, or what I'm noticing over here in the States. I know over in the UK, Anthony Joshua can do no wrong. So I'm going to talk about what the perception is here in the United States. Eddie Hearn is to blame. Now, all of a sudden, right now, it's June the 26th, 2018. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Now, all of a sudden, the WBA is ordering. Let's go look at it. It doesn't make any sense. Now, the WBA being the oldest of all of the sanctioning bodies, the WBA is, damn, why is that there? Hold on 1 minute. There we go. The WBA 1962, the WBC 1963, the IBF 1983, and the WBO 1988, and I think the IBO was 1988 as well. But even though they're the oldest of the sanctioning bodies, they're not the most prestigious. The WBC is considered, the green belt is considered the most prestigious. The WBA is known these days for having two belts. They have the WBA Super World, which Anthony Joshua has, and then they have the WBA World. Now, whenever they feel like it, they decide who a mandatory is going to be. For example, just because let's go look at an example. Just because you're a WBA Super World Champion, or excuse me, a WBA World Champion, which is the second World Championship belt, does not mean that you're the mandatory for the Super World. So to put things into perspective, I always like to use this example. Keith Thurman was WBA World Champion at 147 pounds when Floyd Mayweather was still champion, when Floyd Mayweather was still active. Floyd was WBA Super World. Floyd Mayweather was also WBA Super World Champion at 154, while Irrislandi Law was WBA World. Danny Jacobs, when he fought Golovkin, was the WBA World. Golovkin, a WBA Super World. The point is, they only order mandatories when they feel like it. When you're a super champion, you really don't have a mandatory unless they say you have a mandatory. Now, in this case, in this situation, it's weird because why are they so interested in ordering this fight when, in fact, put it this way, I don't want to beat y'all over the head with the bullshit, but something's not right here. Something is not right, and foremost, I do not believe that the WBA is going to strip Anthony Joshua. I don't believe it. They did strip Rigondeaux, but they stripped Rigondeaux because, for one, and this is a key factor, Rigondeaux don't bring in, no money. Number two, Rigondeaux had loss. So usually some sanctioning bodies will do a situation where if your belt is not on the line and you lose, then they'll have you lose that title. Or if you move up in weight and you lose, stipulations like that. But in this case, the WBO, okay, let me read some of this. WBA President Gilberto Mendoza had granted Joshua an extra month to continue talks for the fight with Wilder, but with a deal yet to be agreed, he has called on AJ to finalize a mandatory bout against Povetkin. That's just paraphrasing. I put some words in there. Gilberto said, today, the WBA requested an answer from Anthony Joshua team regarding his fight with the WBA mandatory challenger Alexander Povetkin. The WBA have allowed over a month extension to negotiations with Povetkin and also ongoing discussions with Deontay Wilder. It appears Wilder team have not returned the contract, and therefore we are requesting a date for Joshua versus Povetkin fight immediately after. Now, here's the thing. I remember yesterday, Dan Rayfield. Now, this is this morning. Right now, it's 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, June the 26th, 2018. This was just yesterday from Dan Rayfield. Very, 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 very lengthy article. It's a lot going on in this article from the promoter, excuse me, not the promoter, the co-manager of Shelly Finkel. So if you don't know who is in charge of things when it comes to Deontay Wilder, it's Al Heyman and Shelly Finkel. So Dan Rayfield, 258. This was actually posted early this morning, 258. So this was posted like 4 hours ago. It was some key things that, well, okay. This is what he told ESPN on Monday. I'm sending him back the contract with a couple of notes, Finkel told ESPN on Monday. Hopefully there is no problem. We'll sign right after the changes are made. What are those changes? We don't know. We can't really jump to conclusions because we don't have the contract. So basically, just from that right there, and it's a quote because it's in quotations, they're asking for some changes. What are these changes? You know, and therefore that means the contract is not signed. Now, people are going to say, come on, Wilder, just sign the contract. Listen, we can't jump to conclusions like that. We don't know what's in there. Also, let's go back down here. What was I looking for? Okay. So now this is in regards to when Wilder had the contract or when his team had the contract and sending it back, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to focus on this part right here. This took Matchroom by surprise. Never think that Wilder would accept their below market offer. Finkel says shortly after Eddie Hearn went public saying that we will receive a contract by Friday, June the 15th, when in fact we did not receive a contract until late on Monday, June the 18th. On Tuesday, June the 19th, we requested clarification of 2 points. They did not respond. I requested them again on Thursday, June the 21st. This was this Thursday that just passed. And we finally received the response on Friday, June the 22nd. Okay. So they looked over the contract for the weekend, and yesterday they sent it back, meaning Monday, the 25th. 2 days later, on June the 24th, I sent them a letter of acknowledging Eddie's email of June 22nd, telling them we would have the contract back by Friday, this Friday, June the 29th. Since the contract did not state the date or venue, I also asked for that information. These are the facts, and Matchroom will have the contracts back to them by Friday, June the 29th. So, like I said, this is a situation where it's easier to point fingers. So let's point out the facts. The fight is going to happen in the UK. It has to be in a stadium. Wilder is going to make at least $15 million. At least $15 million. They've backed off of all of whatever they were asking for the fight being over here in the States. Also, a lot of people don't understand that Showtime really did have the $50 million. They would have put that money up to stage the fight in the United States. Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Anthony Joshua, has already stated multiple times that they've been in talks. Will this play?
I'm a true champion. If it takes me
we can't play her clip.
More that looks terrifying.
I thought this was all right. Well, all right. Don't sue me, Michelle. No, she's a cool lady.
And let's do it. I did the same thing with Luis Ortiz, and I came out on top. That was the best thing I could have done in my career.
This is the she did a long hour and 20-minute interview with him sitting down in LA, I believe. And this is on the Sky Sports platform.
I mean, the wave is crazy now for me. So it's going to be the same thing with this Joshua. See, he don't know that we're both building our legacy. And what we do at this point, the story is going to be told. So the more they run, the more they look terrified of me, the more they keep dodging me. You know, he building his legacy. This is going to be written in the books. Now, for me, how I came up and what I'm coming up, like I said,
I forgot that sometimes he be Pastor Wilder. This is not the clip I thought they was going to show. But you know, the point I'm trying to make is it's starting to look like you can't just tell a fighter just to just sign the contract, make the fight. It's not that simple. However, in this situation, it's like, why is this Povetkin thing such an issue? There's a thing called step aside where Povetkin can be paid a certain amount. Eddie Hearn can get in contact with the WBA, and I'm sure the WBA would be cool with it. He can talk to the WBA. He say, listen, like, we're going to make the Povetkin fight, but it'll be bigger for Povetkin, if he fights the winner of Joshua Wilder. So we're going to give him a piece of the Joshua Wilder money, just a little taste to wet his beak. Give him a little piece, step aside money and a step aside agreement. He can fight on the undercard, right, against somebody he should win against, and then they both fight each other. Then the winners fight. Eddie Hearn can finesse this. Don't fall for that news. This shit right here they putting out. This is for casual boxing fans who don't know no better. When people are going to say, AJ Povetkin, look at the AJ Povetkin order. WBA orders Anthony Joshua to sign Alex Povetkin fight within 24 hours. No. This can be finessed. Don't fall for it. Let's just hope they get this fight done. I understand what's going on. To me, here's my theory. Eddie Hearn wants to put it in Wembley. He don't want to put it in Cardiff. He wants it in Wembley. There's no disrespect to Cardiff. It seems as though Eddie Hearn wants it in Wembley. He wants the open air. Yeah, they could do it in Cardiff because it has the roof. He's trying to finesse. Because they know, we could do the Povetkin fight. It'll be a big fight. No, it's going to be a big fight, right? But, you can't put Wilder. You can't put Wilder versus Joshua in just a regular arena, or let alone one. I think I see it. I think that's what they're trying to do. Even Barry Hearn did an interview. The father of Eddie Hearn, saying that, and the advisor, the consigliere of Eddie Hearn, even said that, like, if I was Joshua, I'd push that shit up till next year. We want that shit to be big. But it could have very well been Joshua versus Luis Ortiz. What if Wilder would have lost? What if Povetkin pulls off a crazy ass upset and knocks fucking Anthony Joshua's head off? Anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.